Yes, let's talk about hockey, the show that journeys through the history of the sport of ice hockey from its disputed origins to the game we see today. At the start of the 2017-2018 season, the NHL brought Major League Hockey to the city of Las Vegas for the first time in the form of the Golden Knights franchise. However, professional hockey in the Vegas desert goes back decades before the concept of the Golden Knights was even thought up.
The city first broke onto the hockey scene at the senior amateur level when the Las Vegas Gamblers Club joined the California-Nevada Hockey League for its inaugural 1968-69 season. The team featured players such as left winger Don McRitchie, goaltender Wendell Olk, and center Grimmin McDonald, who would become the team's player-coach 2 years later. Playing out of the Las Vegas Ice Palace, the Gamblers and their league would eventually make the transition from senior amateur to semi-professional around 1970. However, there are still rumors that many of the league's players were still never paid. After 3 years, the Gamblers Club folded following the 1970-71 season, while the California-Nevada Hockey League would reorganize into the Pacific Southwest Hockey League in 1972. After the Gamblers shut down, a new team was formed in 1971 called the Outlaws, which included several former members of the Gamblers Club. The Outlaws, though, would be independent of any league, and instead challenged a variety of opponents from other leagues from the 1971-72 season through the 1973-74 season. This new squad would dominate their matches in their first 2 years, going 29-8-4 in 1971-72 and 34-5-4 in 1972-73. Additionally, they would win the Nevada Governor's Cup, a 3-game tournament against their cross-state rival, the Reno Aces, in both of those first 2 years. Like the Gamblers, though, the Outlaws wouldn't last beyond 3 seasons, and by 1974, Las Vegas was once again without a hockey team. However, hockey in Vegas would begin its comeback 17 years later, when on September 27, 1991, the NHL held an outdoor preseason match between the Rangers and the Kings in a rink built over the Caesars Palace parking lot. Using 3 times the refrigeration equipment as a regular rink, the ice was able to withstand the 85-degree Vegas temperature, while in the game itself, the Kings scored 5 unanswered goals in the second and third periods for a 5-2 win over the Rangers. 2 years after this game, not 1 but 2 new Vegas teams were organized: the Aces of the Pacific Southwest Hockey League and the Thunder of the International Hockey League. The Aces would play 2 seasons before their league folded and reformed as the West Coast Hockey League in 1995. Unfortunately, this reformation did not include the Aces, so the team's owner, Garrett Krause, attempted to form his own league that would include the Vegas team as well as the other team he owned in Los Angeles. The new North American League, or NAL, would also contain teams in Eugene, Oregon, Vancouver, British Columbia, and Mexico City, Mexico. The Las Vegas club was renamed the Ice Dice, but never once played a game, since the league itself collapsed after about a month, with only 7 games having been played between the league's other teams. Though to this day, the NAL is still the only professional ice hockey league to span the U.S.-Mexican border. The other Las Vegas team to form in 1993, the Thunder, would have more success. This Vegas club would be a stopping point for a number of NHL stars, including Radek Bonk, Alexei Yashin, and Pavel Demitra, as well as Pokey Reddick, Clint Malarchuk, and Manon Rhéaume from the Canadian women's team. Even Curtis Joseph would man the Vegas net for a brief period in 1995. With this level of talent on their roster, the Thunder won 2 division titles and 2 regular season championships in their first 3 seasons, and managed to get as far as the conference finals and the playoffs in back-to-back years during this time as well. The Thunder would drop in the standings to 4th in their division during their 4th and 5th seasons, and though they would still make the playoffs, Vegas would be a first-round knockout in both years. At the end of their 6th season in 1998-99, the Thunder had posted their 2nd straight losing record and missed the playoffs for the first time in their short history. Unfortunately, the team's drop in performance had led to waning fan interest, and the Thunder folded after this 6th season, a fate that would also befall the IHL 2 years later.
After the Thunder closed up shop, a new club was lined up almost immediately to take their place when the West Coast Hockey League announced its plans for a Vegas expansion team set to start in the 2000-2001 season. However, the lack of a suitable arena for the team set things back a few years, by which time the WCHL had merged with the East Coast Hockey League. So it wasn't until October of 2003 that the Las Vegas Wranglers made their debut as a member of the ECHL.
Playing out of the Orleans Arena, the Wranglers went 13-1-1 over their first 15 home games and finished their first year ranked second in their division. Unfortunately, they were upset by the eventual Kelly Cup champion Idaho Steelheads in the first round of the playoffs that year. The Wranglers' second year would be a disaster, as consistently undisciplined play led to them finishing second from last in their division, with what would be the worst record their club ever posted. Looking to shake off the disappointing performance of their sophomore season, the Wranglers would finish no lower than second place in their division over the next 5 years, collecting back-to-back division titles in 2007 and 2008, the league's regular season championship in 2007, and make it all the way to the Kelly Cup Finals in 2008. During this time, the Wranglers would also tie the league record for most consecutive road wins, and set a new league record for fewest road losses in a single season. The club would continue to rank in their division's top 4 over the next 3 seasons, and even managed to make a second appearance in the Kelly Cup Finals in 2012. Then in January of the following season, in parody of the NHL's Outdoor Winter Classic being canceled due to the lockout, the Wranglers held an indoor Winter Classic on New Year's Day 2013, where they beat the Ontario Reign 3-2 to claim a trophy featuring a chain and a padlock. The Wranglers' performance would drop sharply in the 2013-2014 season as they finished at the bottom of their division. To make matters worse, the Orleans Hotel and Casino decided not to renew the team's arena lease for the next season. After an arena deal with the Plaza Hotel and Casino fell through, the club suspended operations until they could find a permanent arena venue. However, when nothing suitable could be found, the Wranglers management announced the team was officially folding in January of 2015. It would be roughly a year and a half later that the NHL would grant Las Vegas a franchise as part of their newest expansion efforts. And while the Golden Knights are still in the midst of their first season, they've already set several new records for first-year NHL expansion clubs, leaving one to wonder what the future holds for professional hockey in the sands of Las Vegas.